Good morning. This is Kamera again. We're on day number 46, Numbers, chapters 8 through chapter 10. The previous chapter discussed the leaders of each tribe giving an offer and dedication to the Lord. And now we're in the next chapter, 8, where it discussed the lampstand, how Aaron should light the 7 candles on the lampstand and what direction they should be placed in the tabernacle. And then it talked about the dedication of the Levites. Remember, the Levites are to serve the Lord. That's their purpose. They are set aside for the service of the Lord. The Levites also represents the firstborn sons of Israel. God said that the firstborn sons of Israel belong to him. So the Levites are their substitution. Also, the Levites are to aid Aaron and his sons. Remember, Aaron is the high priestess. His sons are the priests. And so on, every descendant after that of Aaron will be priests and high priests. At least one would be high priest. But the Levites are to aid. They are the assistants of the Levites. So now they're being dedicated. It was an entire ceremony for a ritual for this. They had to shave their bodily hairs. They had to wash themselves. They had to be purified. And then they had to submit an offering. And then they were dedicated unto the Lord. The age requirement for the serving of the Lord was the age of 25. And then at 50, then they would retire. But from that point on, they would just simply be the security or guards for the tabernacle. And their job was to that. They were no longer part of the ceremonies to the Lord for the children of Israel. They were basically security. And that security was very important because, as we remember, the children of Israel were the only ones who were near the tabernacle, and anyone who comes too near the tabernacle would die. And so that was the purpose of the retired Levites for security, basically. And then it goes on to talk about the cloud that hovered over the tabernacle. Once the tabernacle was set up, there was a cloud that hovered over the tabernacle. And at nighttime, that cloud would look like a fiery cloud. And once that cloud lifted, then it was time for the children of Israel to break camp, to continue their journey. And once the cloud stopped, then that was meant for them to now set up camp. And the thing is, they never knew when God was going to say, let's move on. But when that cloud moved on, they moved on. And when it set up, they were told to set up. And the crazy part about it is it could be there for just 2 days. Maybe hovering in that land for 2 days over the tabernacle. Then once that cloud lifts, they have to move on. So it could be a day, it could be 2, it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year. Also, the Passover was discussed, the second Passover, telling the children of Israel that they need to go ahead and observe that Passover. And there were some concerns for people who were not able to participate because maybe they touched something unclean like a dead body. Then they were given instructions on how they should go about doing it, like maybe a month later at a certain time, and that everything needs to be followed. If there were foreigners in the land, they were told they had to participate as well. And if anything was not done accordingly, then there would be a problem. So that's what they discussed, the tabernacle, the Passover. And then the trumpets. There were Moses was instructed to have 2 silver trumpets made, and those trumpets were for a purpose. For example, if both trumpets were blown, then that signaled the entire camp to meet at the entrance of the tabernacle. And if only one, then only the leaders of each tribe was basically a signal to meet at the entrance of the tabernacle. If certain types of sounds were made, then it was instructions to the children of Israel. So it had multiple purposes, and they were also told how to what the children of Israel should expect as far as the sound or signal when they are in the promised land. Those trumpets are still supposed to be used at that point as well. And so, yeah, that's where we are. So now we're in the second year of the great Exodus, of the children of Israel leaving Egypt. And so now we're talking about everything that God had put in place for the children of Israel. All those rules, all those things He told them to do is now to start. Now it's supposed to start as far as them leaving. So in the second year, children of Israel now continued their journey. The cloud was lifted. Children of Judah led the way. Alongside them were the other two tribes, and then you had the Levites right after them. And so you remember the formation they were placed in a few chapters back, where you had each tribe, like 3 tribes in each direction of the surrounding the tabernacle, and so were the Levites, north, east, south, and west. Where Judah were the ones that were in the east, and they were the ones who led the everyone. Once they started, everybody else started. And so one thing that was great about it, Moses, whenever the ark was lifted and to start moving, then Moses would say, Lord, he would give out this shout to the Lord about, arise, O Lord, let your enemies be scattered, cause them to flee. And then once they sat down the ark, then he would say, return, O Lord, to your children of Israel, basically, your thousands of Israels. So, that was day number 46, Numbers chapter 8 through chapter 10. Okay, so again, I recommend you guys read these, and leave Numbers. I would say Levi Numbers probably the most boring parts of the Bible. If you feel that's boring, it can be interesting. It's all about your perception. But once we get through, and I believe honestly that some drama is about to happen in the next chapter. Let's just push through. Everything that was written in the Word was written for a reason, even though we don't understand. If you want more understanding, you might want to ask God for it. But yeah, it's in there for a reason. And I suggest you just go ahead and just read it as God help you for understanding. Okay? All right, so that is it. Day number 46. You have a God-filled blessed day. Okay?